right, everybody, welcome back. We got some racing finally coming our way after 2-week break, which feels like it's been forever. Excited to get this action underway, though. Rookie trucks here at Nashville this evening. Should be an interesting race tonight. Excited to see how everything pans out for these racers here tonight. Got just about under a minute left here in this practice here. So what we'll do is hop on board here really quick and see just exactly what a qualifying lap looks like here at Nashville. So you're going to be obviously trying to get as much of a run as you can out of turns 3 and 4 here. Hit a late arc, try to get a big run. Off turn 4, really extend it all the way out there to the wall. Cut down this trioval here, try to save just that a little bit of extra time going through the trioval. Of course, get all the way back out to the wall for a nice aggressive entry into 1 and 2, really trying to hug that yellow line to really wrap and maximize that grip. And then again, same thing as in turn 4, just maximizing your exit speed and getting yourself all the way back out towards the wall. And a little bit of a later entry and apex here in turns 4, of course, with the trioval having a little bit more of an arc than the backstretch does, really make your way back out to there, and then cut that trioval again for another good lap here at Nashville Speedway. We'll see if these drivers can try to replicate that here today, as qualifying is set to begin here. Saw some pretty decent times out there in practice, so we'll see if that trend continues. See who's looking to make their way towards that top spot. See if we get a couple people out on track, and it looks like we do. Try to hop on board here with Chris here in a second. Here looks like he's making his out lap, so we'll stay on board here with Brad. Chris was one of the drivers towards the top of the list there in practice, so we'll see what he's able to do. We'll hop on board with him after we get a lap in here from Brad. Looks like Sammy Moser has already put a lap down as well. See a couple guys now getting their name on the board here. Looks like Chris may be attempting here to go for a lap 2, possibly. And sure enough, wow. And that's just as I was about to hop on board here with Bobby Grady, another driver that was quick in practice, making his debut here in the second season. Glad to have Grady back. You want to do me a favor and talk for me as well really quick?
Yeah, I was actually following around with Bobby as well. Cool. He was really quick in practice, so I was keeping an eye on him, and sure as heck, I mean, first lap he put down a heater.
Yeah, and
the second one's looking even better too.
It takes that pole position spot for now. We'll see if that holds here. Grady, a name that we mentioned quite often in our last season. Looking to try to replicate that performance here tonight.
I mean, we got another minute 30 still left in qualifying, but I think Bobby will hold that.
Yeah, we see Sean Happick making his way out onto the track. See what he can do. Let's hop on board with him. Gets that apron a little bit in 3 and 4. That's going to kill some of his speed. Yeah, we see him just shutting it down. So, does cross the start-finish line, though, so he's not going to attempt for another lap here.
I got to tell you, I do like seeing these bigger crowds. I mean, bigger crowds cause more wrecks, but they didn't do too bad. They seem to be getting better every single race we put in here. But, I mean, after a 2-week vacation that we had, we'll see what they got left in them.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of saw it with our season last season as well. It took about 4 or 5 races for everybody to kind of get their groove and really learn how it is to drive around everybody. So I'm sure that
we had half the crowd though too.
Well, you know.
But, this is a good turnout. I like seeing this amount. I mean, we got 36 drivers out there, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm excited to see. You know, Nashville is a home track for me, and I know we got a couple guys in here. The number 53 of Chris Winiger, a local guy. Of course, we've got the number 75 here as well, and Dalton King. He's another guy that is local to the area. And then, of course, you know, our long time upside down friend and Mike Kufel. He, you know, spends more time upside down than he does on his wheels, but he's another local native here to Nashville. So we'll see if that will show an advantage to these guys here. Sit with us here for just a minute. We're going to go ahead and give these guys a quick little pep talk, remind them of what's going on, and we will be right back with you. All right, well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your starting grid for Nashville Super Speedway tonight. Go ahead and go over this here in just a moment, as I'm having a complete and utter brain fart. All right, so we're going to have 105 laps here tonight. Stages at 26 and 53 here. So starting on the pole position, again, welcome back to none other than yours truly, Mr. Bobby Grady. Starting in the second place position, we've got the number 22 of Randy Cornwell. Starting just behind Bobby Grady, as I mentioned at the just a couple minutes ago, we've got the number 53 and Chris Winiger. He's going to be starting in the second row on the inside. And then on the outside, we've got number 13, David Meacham, a guy who has definitely had his name talked about here quite often so far. We'll see if that is a trend that continues. Starting in the fifth place position, we've got the number 16 and Travis George. Starting on his outside row, we got the number 44 of Tim Rourke. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Just another row behind that, we've got the number 12 and Christopher Dyke. And starting in the 8th place spot, we've got Brett Pritchard. Rounding out the final row here in the top 10, we've got the number 95 of KT McCann and the number 8 of Samuel Moser. And just behind him, we've got the number 4 of Dustin Bloodworth and then Mike Kufel on his outside here. Rounding out the top 24 here, we got Parker Weekly and Daniel Quinn on the 7th row. Sean Happick, and teammate Andre Carvalho. I believe they're teammates this season. I know they were last season, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, they're going to be in the 8th row, starting side by side. And in the 9th row, we've got Matthew Chase and Trey Young. And rounding out your top 20, we're going to have, again, another Nashville native in Dalton King and Ben Thomas. Just behind them, we've got Brad Doerr and Clint Hackett. And then the following row behind them, we've got Thomas Long and Patrick Camburn. Just behind them, we've got the 54 of Randy Post and the 46 of Christian Noble, followed by the number 7 of Bryce Tucker and the number 14 of Kean Fry. I did get confirmation that Kean is how you pronounce that, so Kean, from now on in, you will be hearing your name correctly. A couple penalties to issue tonight, one of them being for the number 24 of Todd Champ, but starting on his outside, we've got the number 34 in Kendon Cook. We've got Aaron Creighton starting in the 31st position, and Chris Nagy on his outside, followed by John Shields and Michael Mangus. And we got Tim Clements and Brian J. Lewis rounding out the rear end of this field here tonight. So pretty stacked field. It looks like you got about 36 drivers here listed for this race. So a lot of room for error out there. A lot of guys that could be getting into some trouble if they're not careful. I know we've kind of talked about it once before, but tire wear is going to be pretty important here at a track like Nashville. Concrete track with... We obviously have some banking, but not as much as some of these other tracks that we're used to seeing. So I know that tire wear is going to play a huge factor in tonight's race. But with that being said, we see the pace car now in the middle of turns 3 and 4, looking to make its patented dive down to pit road. And there we see it. Pace car off, guys getting into the Geico restart zone. Green flag out here at Nashville Super Speedway. 105 laps. We see a couple guys actually getting loose on the restart, but nonetheless, Bobby Grady spins his tires, but does get a huge run on the field here. Again, 105 laps here, 26 laps here in this first stage. We'll see if these guys can hold it tight and get it together. And already we've got a pretty decent gap between the top 2 here and Bobby Grady and Randy Cornwell.
Yeah, what a jump.
Oh, and it looks like a potential issue for Bobby Grady. I'm not sure. We see him peeling off. I have to find out what happened there. That's going to bring Randy Cornwell to the lead.
Yeah, I want to see what happened there too.
I mean, maybe a restart violation. The only thing I can try to really think of is that maybe he had a restart violation, and you know, pit road is a little bit tricky here as well at Nashville Super Speedway, so maybe having some issues trying to get down on the pit road. We'll stay on board with him and see.
Yeah, he's coming into pit road. That must have been a restart violation. He probably started too soon on the Geico zone. He wasn't in it. That's horrible. Come out on pole. I mean, he's got a long race to hopefully catch that lap back up, but he's going to lose at least a lap here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a terrible start, honestly, if you're Bobby Grady, but we know he's a driver that can overcome it if he can stay level-headed and stay out of trouble. That's, yeah, not the start you want to see for Grady, but as you mentioned, 105 laps here. We've already got 3 down, so he's still got about 102 laps to try to make something happen here. I don't know that he'll get any stage points without a caution, but we'll see. I mean, he's done amazing things, and as I say it, looks like the yellow flag is in the air here. Hop on board and see just what happens. Looks like maybe the number 54 of Randy Post potentially involved in this one. We'll hop on board with him and see what we can see from behind his truck here. Oh, wow. The number 93 of Thomas Long, actually, I believe it is, just kind of slides up the track and collects the number 6, and everybody kind of just piles on in from there. We'll back this up a little bit and see if we can't hop on board with him. Let's see if we can find the number 93 here. There he is, and I don't know if he just came in the corner a little too hot, or not exactly sure what happened. Yeah, I think he maybe saw that car on his inside and kind of knocked him off his line, and the number 6 of, I believe it is Ben Thomas, a little bit of Thomas on Thomas crime here, gets taken out. But yeah, we see Thomas Long gets a good entry to the corner, and I think that's what it was. He gets that inside call and kind of hops up the track, and a couple guys just not being able to get it wound down in time, and that's going to bring out our first caution of the night. So that's going to be a huge break, actually, for Bobby Grady.
Yeah, I gotta imagine he lost at least a lap there, but that saved him from losing any more.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine. I mean, we still see him on pit road, so I don't know if that's.
Yeah, so Bobby is 1 lap down as of right now. Brian Lewis had a black flag to drive through to take care of, so he's 2 laps down. But um, I wonder if Bobby is the lucky dog because of that or not. Of
That's what
course,
I
he came,
was just thinking.
but he's on pit road. You said right now, so I don't know if he'd be able to get the lucky dog if
No,
he's.
my screen did not go live, so it was actually
Oh,
showing him on pit road when the caution came out. So that may be a huge break for Grady if, as you mentioned, if he does end up getting that lucky dog, and we'll actually hop on board with him because
if he was on pit road when the yellow came out, then they don't give him a lucky dog while he's on pit road. So I think that would end up going to Brian.
gotcha. Leaders are crossing the start finish line now. We'll see if Grady does make that jump to the outside. As we mentioned, I don't believe that's going to be the case, but we'll see. Yeah, looks like everybody's just going to be getting lined back up. So, you're Bobby Grady, you lose 1 lap, but apart from that,
He's fast tonight. He'll as long as he can keep it clean back there. I don't know if he'll get the lap back under green or not. That might be asking a bit much, but hang on, he might be able to get a yellow. And of course, we got stage coming up at lap 26 as well, so it's only 20 laps from now.
yeah, absolutely. And I know for sure Grady will be back in this fight. It's just going to be a matter of when and not if in this case. But, I mean, again, damage minimalized. Kind of gets a little bit of a lucky break there. Potentially could have gone 2 laps down depending on how clean he got in. I mean, he lost a lot of time missing pit road on that first attempt. So, a bit of a break for him. He's got a little bit of, I guess, forward momentum now with that caution. We'll see if these drivers can get it around here and complete this thing. Got a pretty strong first row here. Travis George, again, another name that's returning to the series. So glad to see him back up front. But there it is with the pace car diving down pit road here. Going to be entering the Geico restart zone. Green flag going to be out here at Nashville Super Speedway in just a moment. They are in the zone now. And there we go. A huge jump there on the inside for the number 22 of Randy Cornwell. See everybody just fanning out behind him, 2 wide. A couple guys looking to make some aggressive moves, trying to get everything you can on this restart. But Randy Cornwell gets a good corner, but Travis George here carrying some huge momentum out of turn 2. We'll see if he can carry that into turn 3 and try to get a run on the front stretch here. You see tucking behind him and really doing a good job of hugging that yellow line that's very crucial here at Nashville, of really trying to maximize the track width here. Oh, one down in the grass. He's losing it here.
Oh, 4 car. Yo, they come back up into the field.
It comes back into the field, and we actually caught that live. And Mike Kufel almost again finds his way upside down. This man just, I don't know if he's got an anti-gravity attachment or something on his truck. I'm not sure, but almost gets upside down again. But we kind of saw that happen in there. I have to see who exactly that was getting loose. I believe you said it was number 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody might have gotten into the 4 and he got loose and overcorrected and came back up into the field.
Yep, on board with him now. We're seeing him following close here behind Chris Winiger and going down. And, oh, yeah, Christopher Dyke just kind of turns down on him on the front stretch. And Bloodworth does a heck of a job saving it until he doesn't. I mean, these trucks, we know how hard they can be to save once they get going, especially when you get the apron involved. And almost...
Yeah, it's concrete track, too, so you can easily overcorrect on these. With these trucks on asphalt, they're pretty predictable. You can save them pretty easily, but on a concrete track, you never know what they're going to do. They can just grasp all of a sudden on you, and then you're lost it.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the transition between going back to the apron and back onto the racing surface. Does a good job of getting it wound down, but a couple guys kind of plow into him there at the end. It looks like a couple other guys having some contact that gets them loose and gets them bent out of shape, so they're not able to save it. But it's going to be a huge break here, I believe, potentially for Bobby Grady. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he is the first truck scored a lap down. So
yeah, as long as he stayed out of trouble there, didn't actually hit anything or get any taps on, then yeah, he'll get the lucky dog.
Yeah, so huge break for Bobby Grady. A little bit of bad luck and misfortune here at the beginning, but seems that luck potentially is turning around. And it's got to be said, I think even Bobby would tell you this. He's very fast, and We kind of saw a little bit of it last season as well. I mean, he, of course, made a pretty heavy equipment change last season, but he's a guy that has a lot of speed, but he kind of tends to get himself in trouble in a couple scenarios, and we're kind of seeing the case of that here again tonight. And hopefully he can break the curse of having some bad luck come his way and really make something happen, because he's a name that I'm sure we'll see in victory lane at least once this season. And there he goes around the pace car, so back in the fight.
I'm sure he's happy about that. I mean, I can only imagine the disappointment to qualify pole and start out too soon and then get that black flag.
Yeah, I know I would be frustrated. And then I think too, the good thing, I know Bobby's a pretty level-headed driver. Got to think after making a mistake like that, he's probably gets a little hot and gets a little frustrated. And we've seen kind of what happens when some drivers drive with a temper, aka me. Sometimes, we're all guilty of it, but
no,
never me. But I mean, he gets all these caution laps to kind of take a deep breath, reset, and of course the benefit of these cautions with getting back on the lead lap. So he's had time to kind of think about what happened there and unwind a little bit. And now it's just time to focus forward and work your way back to the front, as we know he can do. But we do see lights are off on the pace car, so we're going to be coming around here to the green flag this time by. And, I think a track like this is really going to show who's put in practice, not just based off lap times, but, I mean, we've yet to really get a run here at all. So, some of these guys may have some incredible speed, but if we can get this race to go green after these stages, we'll really see who's able to manage that right front tire here for the course of the run.
Yeah, this concrete track, again, it's a whole nother animal. It'll chew your tires up real quick.
Yes, it will, but there we go, back in the restart zone. It looks like Randy Cornwell actually elected to start on the outside, and that may have played a huge benefit. He has a teammate behind him in the number 95, and we actually see that inside line there with Travis George get really muffed up, and I believe that may have caused some chaos, because we do see the caution flag back out in the air once again. Try to see if we can find out what happened there. I know the inside line got stacked up. I don't know exactly where that came out. Oh, we see it there in the back. Looks like the number 98 of John Shields was involved. The number 58, what are we doing? Brian Lewis here. Yeah, this is something that needs to be looked at, because I believe this
I already took care of it.
Okay. Yeah, because this has been an issue every week.
Yeah, I took care of it.
All right, well, you hate to see that, but this is a rookie league after all. A lot of guys just trying to really learn the ropes of oval racing and make their way around the track, but some guys looks like they're having a little bit of a harder time than others, but that's to be expected. All right, so they should be coming to one to go here this time by. Well, I mean, I think too that caution helps the 16 to Travis. I mean, we see him; he's scored in the third place position, but he did not get the start that he wanted on that restart, and that could have been bad. He could have lost a couple more positions had that caution not come out. So
Yeah, so we're going to be starting green here, coming to lap 16, which means we have only 10 laps of green left before stage.
yeah, and I mean too, it looks like, I mean, well, obviously fuel not going to be an issue here with all these caution laps, but now their tanks are going to be even more full for the next stage. So, it's probably going to be some pretty quick pit stops. I mean, of course, I'm sure these guys are going to elect to take 2 tires, but honestly, I mean, depending on how this run goes, there may be a possibility of taking 2 just to try to get back up into some track position. I mean, we haven't really had a chance to get a whole lot of heat into these tires, so you may.
No.
I mean, I don't know that no tires would be an option, but 2 may be an option that comes into play here.
I don't know. You're definitely taking fuel, so 2 tires would be kind of smart, but you're going to be... I don't know. It's a tough call. There's definitely going to be some pit strategy that's going to happen, though, for sure.
I mean, you're not going to be waiting on fuel if you go down pit road. I mean, if you take 4, you're definitely going to be waiting on tires. So, and that may be close if you take 2 as well. So we'll see what some of these guys elect to do. But green flag back in the air once again. Another huge start for the 22 of Randy Cornwell. Looks like so far everybody's made their way through turns 1 and 2. A couple guys, looks like we're 3 wide here on the backstretch. See how this goes here. Looks like the 34 of Cannon Cook just backs out of that. I may have done the same, but about a half a second gap here now from Randy Cornwell on the field, looking to run away with it, and he's got a teammate that can kind of play blocker behind him in the number 5 of KT McCann. The number 16, though, of Travis George, close on his bumper, actually looking to make a move down here into turns 3 and 4. Potentially a little bit of contact, but they keep it clean. Bumps him out of the groove a little bit. Rubbin's racing. We'll see if the 16 can hunt down the number 22. But now this is kind of what we're used to seeing. I mean, we've had about 2-3 laps here on this green flag run, but guys kind of starting to get spread out now. I mean, a lot of these guys really haven't even had a chance to get into a rhythm, so.
Me personally, if I'm not even in the top, probably 6 or 7, I'm going to start saving my tires right here. That way I do only need 2 tires and fuel to try to get back out front beginning of the second stage.
Yeah, I mean, track position is key. And, I mean, if this race does continue on the same trend that it has thus far, I mean, you take 2 tires and you get a couple quick cautions. I mean, that really is going to kind of help level that playing field. It's still going to be a little bit at a disadvantage, but, that's definitely going to help that issue. So we'll see. I mean, a lot of strategy can be played here with these drivers on this next stage. We'll see how it happens. So number 30 of Aaron Creighton off pace a little bit here. Everybody's making it their way around him, though. Everybody gets by clean. Another car here on the apron. So a couple cars having some issues tonight, but
as long as they're playing it safe and staying at the bottom, letting people go by and not causing any wrecks, at least they're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nashville, too, is a track that can definitely chew you up and spit you out. We've all probably had their moment, especially out of turns 4. You kind of get a little bit of false confidence coming out of turns 3 and 4. But that wall on the outside comes up very quick, and it looks like those 2 drivers that were on the apron did have a little bit of right front damage, so I don't know if that's where that came from, but if it was, I wouldn't be surprised. I think if you're a guy like Bobby here, or even Mike, it looks like they're both, of course, got caught up in some issues here throughout the race, but looks like they're just trying to play it safe here. I think if strategy is going to come out of anybody, it's going to be out of one of these 2 drivers for sure. As we 4 wide on the backstretch.
Travis George is not Oh, he got a little loose coming there out of turn 2, but he's really trying to push it up on the leader there.
Yeah, he wants that spot, and he definitely has pace. We'll see if he has enough to get around him. It definitely looks like he is pushing, but he's getting to the 22 is half the battle, and then he's going to have to figure out how to get by him. So we'll see what happens if he does get there. Couple laps left here in this stage, though. And as I say that, that is going to be our 4th caution of the night, and that is going to bring us to the end of the stage here. It looks like the number 30 of Aaron Creighton potentially involved in this one. Hop on board with him and see what we can see. Oh, so we have a truck up high off the groove. Looks like the number 46 of Christian Noble gets up in the marbles, and truck comes around on him and gets a little bit loose. Aaron was in the corner, and looks like he's fighting some issues as well with his truck, so doesn't have all of the precision in his truck, and Aaron Creighton a little bit loose here, yawing that truck out, and yeah, just nowhere to go. 46 gets loose up high, and we hear Aaron Creighton trying to back her down, but it's just not enough. Try to hop on board with the 46 here and see what happens, see what gets him bent out of shape. I don't know if he just gets up in the marbles or if he had a little bit of help, and based off what I saw there for a split second, it looks like he may have had a little bit of help. Yeah, I mean, gets a little loose, and the number 4 of Dustin Bloodworth, I don't know if there really was contact there. It was definitely close, but nonetheless, 46 already out of shape, and 4 just finishes the job there. So we see everybody making their way down pit road. Bobby Grady making his way off the pits here. And I believe Randy Cornwell walks away with that stage. Stage number 1 for him. Let's see if we can't try to get him in here for a quick interview before we get going back racing again. Hey, Randy, this is Bryce up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
What's up, buddy? How y'all?
Oh, man, just enjoying this racing that we have here. Not a lot of green flag laps, but nonetheless, you're able to walk away with the first stage here tonight. So how does it feel, man?
Just fortunate there were some cautions there, I feel like. I think some guys were faster. I hate the one had a penalty right out of the box, and I think some more racing, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I am grateful, to finally get one this year.
Yeah, absolutely. First stage win of the season, and definitely looking for many more to come, man. I mean, haven't had too many green flag laps here, as we mentioned, but how do you feel that tire wear is going to come into play here tonight?
I think it's going to be huge if we get a run in. These little runs we've had, I mean, they were at 97% right there when I pit, so not much.
Gotcha, man. Well, congrats again on the first stage win of the night here, and good luck to you on trying to get another 1 or 2 here for tonight.
Thank you, sir. Y'all try to enjoy the show. Maybe we'll get some green flag racing in.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And there you go. That was your stage 1 winner of stage 1, and Randy Cornwell, the number 22. And we were talking about strategy, and it looks like we may have some here out of the 13 of David Meacham and the 34 of Kenan Cook, and even the 3 of Parker Weekly makes his way up to the front row. And those were names that we really hadn't talked about thus far. So I don't know exactly what the strategy was, but nonetheless, there was strategy involved. So we'll see what these guys can do. Green flag back in the air. The 13 of David Meacham gets a huge start. .34 there. It looks like he gets pushed up out of the groove just a little bit, but maintains. The 13 of David Meacham, however, though, getting a great start. I don't know if he took 4 tires or 2 or none. I'm not sure, but whatever he did, he gets his way back towards the front, and he's running away so far. You see the same with Parker Weekly just behind him. Weekly up 11 positions from his starting position, so again, we definitely like to think there was some strategy involved in that call.
Yeah, we just had somebody up in the wall, too.
Looks like the green flag still is out, so
I'll try to get a number on that car that got up into the wall. 44, Tim Rourke.
yep, and we see him slow off pace here. We'll try to rewind and yeah, we see it now. A little bit of contact between him and the number 9. Slight bump gets him loose and into the wall. That may bring some suspension damage for the 44, but again, green flag stays out in the air, which is really unfortunate for the 44. That's going to put him multiple laps down here. And again, that contact was with the number 9 of Mike Kufel, and we see him scored in the 11th place, so that was for 11th or 10th position there. That's really hate to see that if you're the 44 of Tim, but we'll see if he can't try to bounce back here and make his way back towards the front, barring some more cautions here. Of course, we know we'll for sure get the stage break, but we'll see if these drivers can keep it clean here and get some more green flag runs. I want to really point this out as well here. I'm looking at Kenan Cook, and again, I don't know what the strategy call was for him to get all of those spots, but sure, he started on the front row, and he's now back scoring the 10th place spot, but he's still up 20 spots from his starting position, so a little bit of a loss on this restart, but overall a net gain for him.
Did he actually pit?
I'm not sure if he did or if he didn't. I don't have that information, unfortunately, but nonetheless, he's still scored 20 spots up right now, again, so. And I'm getting some word here that we've got a little bit of action going on. Potentially some contact here. See the 74 of Michael Mangus and the 46 of Christian Noble potentially involved here in this one. And yeah, we see him coming off turns 2. Mike Mangus just comes down on the 46 of Christian Noble, and that sends him hard into the inside wall. But all that was off track, so we stay green. And just as I say that, there we go. Caution flag is out in the air. Try to see if we can figure out exactly what this is here. Oh, really weird there. I don't know if he has an issue or... I mean, it looks like the 46 just slams on the brakes on the backstretch. Of course, I'm not exactly sure if that is what happened, but, I mean, huge change in pace on the backstretch. Did see Kenan Cook a little slow off pace, so yeah, he makes his way back down to pit road. So, maybe he didn't take tires there and had to come back down for fuel, but Okay. A little bit of slight technical issues over here, but get everything back going again. For some reason, my there we go. All right, sorry about that. We are back. Everything is all sorted out here. We do see the lights off on the pace car. So we will be back to green flag racing once they cross the line once again. A little bit of support here in the chat for Clint Hackett. I know he was caught up in that early accident. We'll see if he's able to bounce back and try to salvage a little bit of positions here, and looks like he's actually caught up in that last track as well again. I'm not really sure what happened there with the 46 and the 28. Another good start for the 22 of Randy Cornwell out front. Again, teammate in tow just behind with the number 95 of KT McCann.
Yeah, KT's another quick driver out there. He usually just has a lot of bad luck come his way, but he's quick.
Yeah, and we've talked about it, just actually trying to get a race, put together. Being quick is one thing, but to put 105 laps together with little to no mistakes to put yourself there at the end when it matters, that is the key. See battles all throughout the field here. It looks like the 54 of Randy Post and the number 9 of Mike Kuffel are battling for that 9th place spot here. So Mike's been able to bounce back with some early race trouble. We'll see if he can hold on to it here. 54 has the inside line into turns 3 and 4. We'll see if Mike will pinch him down and try to cut off that momentum and get a run on the high side, or if he'll just try to manage. And it looks like the 54 is going to get the run off the corner. We see the 13 of David Meacham going down pit road. I don't know if that was another potential penalty or what's going on, but there's two drivers.
I think he was one of the ones that stayed out too. So I don't know if he came down this last pit stop like Kendon Cook did. So I don't know what that was about.
And we'll hop on board really quick with him and see if we see his truck start floating in the air, see if he takes any tires or kind of what's going on. But yeah, he's taking right sides here now. See if we'll see the left side of the truck get jacked up here. Yeah, so maybe just stayed out, but he's going to catch a little bit of a break as we see a caution come out once again for the 6th time of the night. Hop on board here with Samuel Moser and the number 84 just trying to split the gap. And I don't know if we've got some connection issues there, though, from Samuel. I'm not sure, because we saw my screen kind of blink out there, and he the 84 kind of phases through him right there, and then the 8 phases through the 21 as well. So
yeah,
that one may have been connection induced there. I'm not exactly sure, but yep, I interrupted you. Hey, how's it going there, Sean?
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, seems like there's a lot of chaos out there tonight, man. What are you seeing from your point of view in the truck?
No, it's well, me, but yeah, a lot of chaos behind. Thank goodness I haven't seen anything in front yet. As far as my race is going, I'm doing okay. Parker blinked out and gave me a 4X. Now I'm getting loose going into entry, so that's
Yeah.
slowing me up here. Hopefully,
I don't know what's going on tonight. We got about 4 or 5 guys out there blinking quite a bit that normally don't blink. So I wonder if there's an iRacing issue going on.
I'm not sure. There does seem to be a little bit more connection as normal. But like I said, we were just pacing and he just ran into me there. Not too much damage, but just enough to make me loose going in entry. So I just had to take it easy and hopefully get some stage points here.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. I mean, there is a little bit of damage on your left rear, nothing too bad, but it is there. And I was going to ask where that may have came from, but you kind of beat me to the punch there. So looks like you guys are going to be coming to one to go, excuse me. Again, I know you mentioned you got the damage there, but you just trying to hold on to where you're at, or are you going to try to make a surge up there to the front?
No, it's pretty loose. I'm gonna have to hopefully fight Quinn and Brett off and post back there. Just give me a couple more stage points, and I'll go in and try to get it fixed. See how much damage I got when we get some stage here.
I mean, you always got your quick repair to fall back on too, but I know you don't want to use that unless you absolutely have to.
Man, I sure don't for 30 seconds of repair, but
right.
All right, man.
I sure don't want to be at the back either.
Yeah, absolutely. Track position is important, but you know, we've seen Mike is starting to make his way back up, and we know Grady he's up in the 10th place spot after that early mistake. So
already?
yeah. Now,
dang it!
mind you, I mean, not a whole lot of green flag laps, so you know, we'll see how that plays. But it does look like the lights are off on the pace car. I know you guys are lining up, so we'll get you back to your team, and good luck to you here coming to these last couple laps for the stage.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, a couple connection issues for some of our drivers here tonight, and hopefully that'll clear up a little bit and won't cause us too many more issues. But technology is a wonderful thing when it works, right?
When it works.
Yeah, key word there is when. But I mean, one thing that I want to point out here, we've got 3 Nashville, Tennessee natives all in the top 12. So we'll see how that'll play out for the rest of the race. But yeah, I mean, that damage on the left rear of Sean Happick is definitely going to hurt him just a little bit at a track like this. We don't have too highs of speeds here at Nashville, but still, you know, you need all the grip you can get.
Absolutely, that's going to hurt his downforce for sure. That's why he's so loose. But you know, as long as he holds on here for the stage, come in, get it repaired, and be good to go again.
Well, there it is, green flag back out in the air once again. Another huge start for the leader here, Randy Cornwell.
Yeah, 95 KT has had a pretty good start too. Got on the inside of 16 truck there.
Yeah, wonder if there's a little bit of timing going down for those restarts, but we do know that there are some games that can be played. And I'm seeing a lot of yellow on my timing screen, and there it is. Yeah, it looks like we may have a big one here.
Yeah, it looks like Parker Weekly might have gotten loose or something.
Hop on board here with number 4 of Dustin Bloodworth. He was the first name that pops up on my screen, but we'll see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they just a check up in front of him and tries to get it low down and gets a little loose on the backstretch, and everybody kind of piles in.
We're not even halfway through this yet. I think these guys have a lot of cobwebs to be shaken off from that last couple weeks we had off.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, so that's what it is. So the 3 of Parker Weekly comes up off of turn 2, not clear to the guy on his outside, gets hooked, and then just loses it there on the backstretch, kind of in front of the field. And I mean, it could have been a lot worse than it was, but nonetheless, as you said, we're not even halfway through here tonight, and we've had several cautions. So hopefully we can, you know, kind of get back into a rhythm here, settle it down, and try to make something happen here for the last half of this race. And as I say that, I'm getting older by the minute, and I need to take a potty break. So I'm going to let this play out. And we are back. Just in time, it looks like.
Perfect timing, actually.
May or may not have grabbed a mid-race snack.
KT was not letting 22 get away that fast that time.
No, I wonder if there's a little bit of teamwork and collaboration there. Calling out those restarts.
Oh, 16 right on the inside of KT, though.
See a battle here for the 11th place spot between Todd Champ, Mike Kufel, and Matthew Chase. Mike looking to put the pressure on. Looks like this battle for second really picking up too, and the 53 of Chris Winiger looking to make his way into that battle. I know Randy Cornwell is loving seeing this in the mirror, though.
Yeah, he's checked out.
Coming on 2 to go for the stage. These drivers trying to get every stage point they can get. You see Sean Happick holding on pretty strong there with his damage. It looks like this is going to be a close finish for P2. Been side by side since the beginning of this restart pretty much. 16 drives it in there deep. Puts KT up a groove just a little bit. Drag race to the start finish line. And KT gets the spot. So we do make it to our, what would be our second scheduled caution of the night, but the last one got cut a little bit short. So our first scheduled caution of the night for the second stage. So we are just about at that halfway mark now, and there's still a lot of unknown variables about who's going to have some long-term speed here tonight.
Yeah, I would love to see some green flag runs. Bobby Grady's got himself back up there. Randy Cornwell's up there. He's been leading most of the night. KT's quick. I mean, there's 16 truck is quick. There's going to be some good racing going on if we can get some green flag runs going.
Yeah, I mean, the 16 and the 95 battled every lap there on that green flag run. So we'll see who is going to have the long-term advantage there in that fight. But I know that the 53 of Chris Winiger was looking to capitalize on that. So but there you go. We see these drivers making their way down pit road. Again, I wonder if we're going to have any no tire takers or 2 tire takers with not having a lot of green flag laps there. It looks like your top 4 will stay the same. But it looks like we do have 2 drivers that elected to stay out. We'll see if they do end up coming back in. Number 55 of Chris Nagy and the 4 of Dustin Bloodworth electing to stay out. As well as what it looks like the 88 of Daniel Quinn as well.
That is, that's a tough call. I'm not sure if I'm agreeing with that, staying out like that, but we'll see what happens for him.
Yeah, I mean, green flag runs were fuel windows anywhere between 33 to 36 laps. So, I mean, either way, these drivers are going to have to pit again. But yeah, I mean, if you're staying out here, I mean, you're going to have to pit twice. I don't think, even if we have the amount of cautions that we've had, I still don't think that's going to put you in a good spot. You get track position, but I don't know that it's going to work out in the end. But we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, and I can understand track position when it has to do with a stage or something, but now we're to the end now at this point. It's I don't know. Maybe they got something up their sleeve that I'm not seeing, but
I guess we'll find out in just about 50 laps. We'll probably find out sooner than that, but we've seen drivers have some issues on these restarts on fresh tires. We'll see what happens here.
yeah, and especially with Cornwall having the good jumps that he does, I'm not sure how this is going to turn out here. Yeah, right up to the bumper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasted no
he's
time.
pushing. Yep, excuse me, coming through. Oh, locked him.
Yeah, and the 16 now of Travis George is going to be looking to try to capitalize on that, but he's
We're
going to
going to split him 3 wide.
Yep, 3 wide, and the 55 backs out, gets a little loose on the apron trying to back out, but it looks like they keep it clean.
I think he's realizing his mistake.
Oh, and there we see the
turn.
24. Todd Champ around, turn 4. Yeah, I feel like with how things were getting panned out there, that was only a matter of time. I feel like there was a potential for them to wreck for about 30 seconds there. Oh, yeah, I have to rewind this and really see what happens. I mean, contact between the 24 and the 75. 75 drives it in deep, and I mean, the 24 had it saved, and then he just kind of lost it again, so...
That's that concrete track, man. Very unpredictable, and the track has really changed quite a bit, too. I mean, we've had a drastic temperature drop with the sun going down.
I don't know if these issues are related or not, but did just get a notification behind the scenes that the 75 of Dalton King may be having some internet issues as well, so...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on tonight with all these connection problems. It's got to be something on iRacing's end.
So, just for the first time using this program, figured out that I can now see when the last time that these guys pit were, and it looks like Dustin Bloodworth last pit on lap 46, and after that stage it looks like a majority of guys after him pit on lap 54, and then of course now we've got a couple takers. I would assume those that were involved in this last incident, so he's
and he's first. Yeah, I mean, he's staying out again, it looks like, too. So I mean, he held his own there on the restart. We'll see if he can do it again.
Yeah, I mean, 8 laps less fresh tires and 8 less laps of fuel. That's a tongue twister. So we'll see how that plays out for him. I mean, again, we get a couple more cautions. I mean, he's still not going to be in the best fuel situation, but as far as tires go, I mean, these cautions are going to continue to equal those tires out just a little bit by bit. Yeah, and we now, as Will mentioned, we see the lights come on the pace car, the headlights that is, and the stadium now being lit up. So track should start cooling down just a little bit. Hopefully that'll help some of these drivers here tonight.
I didn't extend that caution either. Did somebody else do that, or was that iRacing?
That is a good question. Looking at the log here, it doesn't look like that was extended by any one of us. So
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. That had to be iRacing's end then. I've never seen them extend a caution like that before.
I've seen it happen, like if drivers are, not sorted out, or, I'm not sure. I thought this caution was a little bit longer than we were used to, but I was just rolling with it. Well, we'll see how this restart is going to fan out here for Dustin Bloodworth on those older tires. And I'm seeing Sean scored in the 24th position, so he must have elected to get that damage repaired.
Yeah, might as well do it now.
Yeah. See if he can stay out of trouble and avoid the chaos, but here it is, Bobby Grady, in 5th place.
Yeah, he's hungry. I mean, to come from a lap down, get that lucky dog, have a bad luck at the beginning, and now he's showing himself in 5th spot, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's right up there with the leader within the next probably 15 laps.
And to be fair, he may have been able to get up there sooner had we not had all the yellow flags, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see Dustin now falling off just a little bit. Randy Cornwell makes his way back towards the lead. KT, though, making his way around Dustin.
Oh, we got to turn on front stretch down into the infield. We stay green, looks like.
Yeah, on board with Mike here in the 21. Oh, yeah, 21 just gets close to hitting the wall, and Mike backs it down just a little bit to try to avoid him and gets tagged from the rear, so a little bit of just a stack up there. And as you mentioned, we do stay green. That's a tough break for Mike. Mike just having no luck at all, and if he had luck, it would be bad luck. But the 16 now creates a little bit of separation between those behind him, trying to chase down the 22 of Randy Cornwell here. And it looks like Mike's still scored on the lead lap, so could be worse. But he's fighting a loose truck here now, especially getting in down to the grass, so he's going to be fighting some loose conditions. And yeah, there you go, you see the leader is just behind him coming out of turn 2, just a straightaway behind him, so he's really going to need a caution if he wants to have a chance of getting back in this thing. Either that, or he's going to have to try to pull out some crazy strategy to make it work, but I don't know that strategy is going to help him at this point.
Well, with the cautions we've had tonight, I'm sure he'll get one.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully for our sake and for the sake of the race, that's not the case. But yeah, if you're Mike,
Yep.
you're definitely if you're Mike, you're definitely hoping for a caution here.
I've been on that end before, and we could have a bunch of cautions like we've had tonight. And as soon as I end up either getting wrecked or something happens, and I'm sitting there hoping for a caution, and we never get one. Oh,
Yeah.
and there it is.
Well, and there you go. Well, Mike, you can thank William for that one. Yeah,
Broadcaster's curse.
Yeah, well, in this case, it may be a blessing for him. Yeah, we see it again, the 21 of Tim Clements. Kind of the same thing that got Mike checked up. Just, I mean, that was actually not even really on anybody there. That was about 1.5 feet of net code between the 21 and the 7. Just gets him spun around and pirouettes through the infield.
To be honest with you, I think that was the longest green flag run we've had yet.
Yeah. We see shades of William Kern in the IndyCar series here down the front stretch.
Ha!
Had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird one, that one.
I don't know, dude. Like, we had the one guy, the leader there, he was practically making love to that apron and not having any issues, and I barely kiss it, and it just turned my car. Them Indy cars are weird, man, especially the IRA teams.
Yeah, I guess your breath just stunk a little bit then. I don't know.
Ah. I got new teeth, man. My breath's good.
That is true. And where is Sean Happy at? Let's see. Makes his way back up to 15th.
Wait, a little faking going on too. The leader there was thinking about coming in. Not sure if he was actually thinking about it or just trying to fake the guys out from behind him, but changed his mind.
Yeah, we saw a couple others behind him as well, having that same game plan there. Looking at it here, let's see. Yeah, I mean, so you've got Randy Cornwell and Travis George last pit on lap 54, Dustin Bloodworth last pit on 46, and then KT on KT at 54, Grady at 54, Pritchard at 54 as well. So pretty much everybody behind them until we get to the, looks like the 15th spot. Yeah, of Sean. But apart from there, that's when we have some more recent pit stop takers after there. So
Dustin's in third. I mean, he's holding out pretty good. I mean, they're only 8 lap old tires compared to everybody else, but he's still hanging on there pretty decent.
Yeah, he is. Really good job out of him to be able to maintain.
I mean, with the fact that the track temp is only in the mid 70s right now, and we've had all these cautions and stuff too, that's probably helped out that tire situation of his. But again, we're coming back to where the fuel's might be an issue here soon.
Yeah, I mean, again, we were told about anywhere between 33 to 36 laps, and of course that's going to be under green. So, I mean, he's either way, he's getting to that point. I would imagine he doesn't have. I mean, no way he has more than 10 to 15 laps. I would think, but you know, he knows more than us being in the car. But we'll see what happens here. As they were about to make our 11th restart of the night, or 12th if you count the initial restart. So. But this is I feel like the most clean air that Travis has had all night, but it looks like Randy elected to take the top line there with his teammate KT just behind him. Again, we'll see if they elect to try to time this restart off here and try to get KT in that second place spot. But as we've seen, Travis George, he's not going down without a fight. Yeah, great start for the 22 and for the 95. It looks like the 16 tried to time it up a little bit and didn't get it quite right, and 22 was able to capitalize on that. We'll see if that will come with any penalties. Hopefully not. But 16 able to clear KT just about. KT's still there on his outside. 16 gets clear of him now. Sean coming up on a group of cars here, again looking to make his way towards the front. And he's a guy that loves to save tire, and he's really going to be able to do that with all these caution laps. If we get a green flag run here, he may be in a good spot. I mean, especially he's on a little bit fresher tires than the leaders. by about 5 laps or so. So that's going to help his case, but he is going to have to get through this traffic. And as I say that, they're 3 wide ahead of him, a little bit of contact.
Yeah, 7 and 13 kind of.
Racing hard here, but we stay clean. But yeah, Sean's probably really going to want to try to get by these two as quick as possible with them racing like that. That's just going to slow them down. Still, well, Christopher Dyke and Bryce Tucker going at it. And yeah, Sean is trying to find an opening here to get around these two. Not really going to be able to make the third groove work at a track like Nashville. But he gets below the 7 as the 7 gets a little loose coming off 2. They're going to be 3 wide in the turns 3 and 4. We'll see Sean's probably going to drive it in deep. And that he does. They stay 3 wide. Looks like the 52 just about clears the 7 and still there, staggered a little bit, but he is now on the inside of Christopher Dyke. We'll see if he can try to complete the pass here in between turn 1 and 2. Yeah, the 12 gets moved up out of the groove just a little bit, so Sean able to get around those two. And yeah, Dustin Bloodworth so far still hanging on. So he's got something figured out as far as tires go. I mean, but again, at what point does he make the dive down to pit road? Well, I would imagine it would have to be coming up here soon. Solid run, though, for Chris thus far. Still hanging on to his top 10. Down a little bit from where he started, but still plenty of race left. And then we see him make a move now on the 84 of Patrick Camburn. See if he can complete this pass out of turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, Cornwell and George is pretty much, they've checked out.
Yeah, and we've seen Travis George have speed. I don't know if he's potentially just trying to hold back a little bit more to try to attack on Randy when he can, or if Randy just has that much of a pace.
I mean, I can say that Randy's pretty smooth coming into the corners. George seems to come down and kind of tag that apron every now and then, which gets him kind of twisted coming back up off. But I'm just curious to see if he's going to catch him here and what he's going to do, whether he's going to try diving it in under Randy or not.
Yeah, you definitely want to avoid that apron. Not only do you lose time, but that also does offset the truck, and it's going to hurt your wear just ever so slightly. And again, we've mentioned it at a track like this, tire wear is very important, but even with all these caution flags, I would imagine we're going to be coming up on our fuel window here in just a matter of time. So, you know, we've seen races get won and lost on pit road, and I imagine Dustin Bloodworth has got to be the first taker to come down pit road, being that he stayed out as long as he has. And he's going to need to kind of make his way back down to the inside. We see him kind of on the outside of Bobby Grady and David Meacham here, so he's going to either have to try to settle in behind Bobby here, and as I say that, We have our 11th caution of the night. It looks like the 24 involved once again. We'll see what happens here with the number 24 of Todd Champ. It gets a little tight off turns 4, and I don't really know kind of what happened. I mean, he just kind of gets hooked in the right rear on the front stretch. Yeah, I don't know if the 12 is loose there trying to fight it or what's going on. I'll hop on board with him. I mean, Christopher Dyke just looks like he just hard left into his right rear. But again, we'll hop on board with his cockpit view. Yeah, no explanation really for that. We hop on board with him, and yeah, it just kind of turns into him. I don't really know what happened. I'll maybe rewind it a little bit and maybe see if there's something leading up to this. Not a predictable race move, though. I mean, we see a little bit of contact with the 12 and the 19. Gets the 12 out of the groove.
I can tell you one thing. The caution helps Dustin Bloodworth here. I think he's going to be on the same pit strategy as everybody else at this point. I think they can make it from here.
Yeah, they definitely should be able to make it, so...
What he was doing with 8-lap older tires than everybody else and staying right up there in about second, third position, we'll see what he can do with fresh tires.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got pace, and as we see, the number 9 makes his way towards the front of the field and said, I'm not done just yet. Yeah, I mean, Mike pits on lap 69. It looks like I don't know if he's, I don't know what the strategy is there, because maybe hoping for some more cautions. I'm not exactly sure, but we see him and Matthew Chase. Mike last pit on lap 69 and Matthew Chase last pit on 70. So, and these guys are pitting on lap 84. I mean, that's a pretty big difference right there. 14 to 15 lap difference there. We'll see if Mike dives down pit road this time by. He doesn't, so maybe he's hoping for some more cautions. But yeah, that last caution there is still kind of a little confusing to me. I'm not exactly sure kind of what happened, what caused that contact. I mean, again, the 24, Todd Champ, just gets left hooked on the front stretch. Or right rear hooked, rather. But we got 20 to go, 19 to go when we take the green flag again. Who do you got your eye out on this last stint here if we go green?
Oh man, there's a few I got my eyes on. I mean, you're looking at Cornwell, Bloodworth. I'd definitely like to see what's going on with him now that he's got fresher tires than everybody else. And then Bobby Grady's right up there too. So you got a few good drivers. Travis George has been up there all night. It's going to be fun. Top 5 is going to be they're going to be door banging, I think, at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't mark Bobby Grady or Sean Happick off that list, or even Chris Winiger. The only problem with them being as far back as they are is if this thing does go green, they're going to have a lot of ground to make up, and they're going to have to burn up a little bit more of their stuff to get back up there.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too, man. That's like I said, if we could stay green here, that's going to really make a fun thing. End of the race.
We got 2 drivers here on the front row that have yet to pit in about 20 laps or so, but Mike gets a great restart on everybody. Maybe 30 spins his tires just a little bit, but Mike off to a great start. We'll see if he can hang on to that start, but 22 is surging, and he's surging quick.
Yeah, he's going to take it pretty easily. Like you said, they're like 15, 16 lap tires.
Yep. Oh, that's huge contact for the 16 of Travis George, and we see Sean involved with 54 of Randy Post. Hard contact out of those. That's going to require some fast repairs. That was in front of the field. We see the 53 up as well towards the apron in turn 3, excuse me. Have to back that up and see what happens. I know guys are jockeying for position here, and
it looks like he just got loose coming off the corner and then lost it into the wall.
Yeah, exactly that. Gets loose coming off of turn 2 and overcorrects and gets into the outside wall, and There's nowhere to go for a lot of these drivers. So there's some big names that were just taken out in that. But that's another, I mean, that's a break, if you will, for Mike. I mean, he still scored in the first place spot. Now, I would imagine, some of these drivers that just pit aren't going to make their way back down. So that may still be a little bit of a net gain for Mike if he elects to pit, and that will give him a couple lap fresher tires. But no, he's staying out.
He should have pit right there, in my opinion. I mean, he should have figured out right there that Randy was coming, and he was coming fast. He would have been a sitting duck. So that was his warning, and I don't know. I mean, me personally, I would have been like, okay, I would have came in.
Yeah, but I will say, with how this race has gone tonight, he's maybe banking on a couple more of those cautions. And I mean, if we get 2 or 3 more of those, again, I don't exactly know where that puts him for fuel, but we get a couple more of those. I mean, even if he doesn't necessarily win this race, if he can still salvage a top 5 or a top 10 even, I mean, that's going to be a good finish for him. And you know what? Why are we even questioning it when we can do a little bit of this action right here? Maybe, possibly. Never mind. Or am I blind? I am blind. Well, let's just ask him, shall we? Hey, Mike, this is Bryce up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you made your way back up to the front. I know you're on a decent set of old tires compared to the rest of these guys. What's the game plan here for you with 17 to go? Probably 15 when we take the green flag.
I'm really going to try to just hold on to that bottom line the best I can. I know Randy's behind me, and he's had a great truck all evening, so it's going to be a task to keep him back there. But I think if I can keep that bottom line covered up and force him to go to the outside is the only shot I'm really going to have to keep him back there.
Yeah, well, we were kind of wondering what the game plan was there for you, but I mean, you're in first place, so far so good.
That's it, man. If I can stay out of the calamity I got involved with earlier, I think I'll be good to go.
Well, good luck, man. I mean, not the strategy I would have chosen, but everybody loves a good strategy call that works out.
I'm trying to pull up an underdog story here for you, buddy.
Bring it on, man. Love to see it.
Well,
Hey, guys.
We saw with that earlier contact there earlier on in the race that Mike made his almost patented 1 per race have ended up on his roof, so maybe his brain's a little rattled.
A little bit. It was kind of fun to drive on the retaining wall for a while.
All right, man. Well, I see you guys are on the backstretch. Lights are off on the pace car, man. Congrats on getting your way back to the front. And hopefully you can stay there, man. Good luck to you with these last 15 laps to go.
Appreciate it, man. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, enjoy the show indeed. We're going to try our absolute best and try to make something happen here. Again, 15 to go when they take the green flag here. And I know Randy Cornwell's going to be looking to make his way towards the front, which I believe he'll probably be able to do quite easily. Inside line or outside, I don't think he's going to have too much of a problem with that. But another good restart, but
Yeah, it's the good part about being in the lead. You can call when that green flag drops, but let's see how long he can hang on to it.
yeah, and see if it'll be enough. What Mike really needs is for somebody to contest
Randy
the
is
22.
moving.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody is going to have anything for the 22 at this moment in time, and that's really what Mike needs. Mike needs these guys behind him to fight, but already we see 22, Randy Cornwell gets down to his inside, and that's going to be the lead. The 13 of David Meacham looking to follow in suit. He had a strong race at Vegas until he got taken out. I know he's looking for a little bit of redemption as well. 13 making a dive on the inside. David Meacham says, hold on, I want my name in this conversation. We saw him up here a little bit earlier on tonight and kind of went quiet a little bit from there, but he's making his name known here once again on the inside of Randy Cornwell. We saw some.
I'll tell you what, though, that 9 car is looking in his rearview mirror and just seeing that 3 wide action. He's just letting. Oh, they're bouncing back.
They're banging. They keep it green. Oh man, that could have been tragic. I mean, I feel like at this point, Mike needs this race to go green. He's got a little bit of a gap between the cars behind him, and every restart is just going to bunch him up. And the advantage that he was getting was being the lead control car. Now that advantage has been taken away from him as well. So I think Mike needs this thing to stay green to have any shot of finishing where he's at. But Bobby Grady looking to make his way back up there to the front as well. A couple big names, though, taken out in that last wreck, so that really shakes up the field.
Yeah. Yeah, because we haven't really seen Meacham up here in the top 3 too much tonight, and now he's making he's knocking on that back door of Randy.
Yeah, and Grady making pretty quick work there of Trey Young in the 77. See if he can complete the pass. It looks like he does just that on the backstretch. We'll see if he can now get to the 84 of Patrick Camburn. But it's go time for these drivers now. I mean, everybody's, for the most part, again, other than Mike, is on some pretty fresh tires, so everybody knows that saving is out the window. We got to put our best 11 laps here on the table to try to finish this thing out. And we see now Mike under attack from Patrick Camburn. That's going to open the door for Bobby Grady to make a position up or two here. Huge lunge from Bobby Grady. Wow. Gets to the inside of Mike and keeps it down there on that yellow line and keeps it clean. That's another spot for Grady. He's got a fast truck tonight, but with him having to work as hard as he's working, I don't know that he's going to have anything for the leaders. But if the leaders can start battling, they might bring the leaders back to him just a little bit, and he might have something for him. But we'll see. 10 to go.
There's the caution.
And there it is. If you're Bobby Grady, you got that Jaws music turned up real loud.
He was definitely hoping for that caution.
Yeah, we see a little bit of a stack up here, 54, just trying to come up the track, not clear of the 16, and kind of just, I mean, nowhere to go for a lot of these guys as well. Yeah, 3 wide and just comes up and not clear. I wonder if Sean ended up getting caught up in that one as well. I know I was looking at him. He was a ways back with that last incident. Well, I wonder if we had a couple issues for Sean, because he doesn't show to be anywhere near any of this, so.
Actually, come to think about it, tonight's the last race, too, before the IPL hits.
Yeah, that IPL is probably going to be hitting pretty hard, I'd have to say.
I'm going to have my hands full next week with all the EOLs I'm going to have to give out.
Yeah, that might be a joint affair there. We might have to split that one up. Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of guys on that list. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, Sean's got some more damage here. I don't really know. Tried to go on board with him. I didn't really see anything happen on that last wreck, but yeah,
he might have gotten something in the one where 16 Travis George got loose off the corner. He might have collected a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, he got collected in that for sure. I would have thought he had a fast repair left, but maybe not. We're just gonna make the journey with him and see what happened, because I mean, I didn't see him get caught up in that last wreck. But yeah, I mean, we're rewinding with him, and I don't know what really goes on here. I mean, I don't see anything. I mean, I would have thought he would have had a fast repair left, unless he accidentally used it earlier on in the race.
He might have been hanging on to it for just in case too. He might still have it in his back pocket. I mean, obviously it should have been. You never know what's going to happen, you know what I mean? Especially with the type of racing we're having here, door to door banging, a lot of wrecks. I would do the same thing. I would hang on to it for as long as I could.
Yeah, I mean, he's really hurt though, and he's still got all that damage. I mean, he's struggling out there. So yeah, I don't know if there was a mistake earlier on or what happened, but yeah, that's a lot of damage to that 52 truck. I mean, again, there is a possibility that he can gain a couple spots with a potential caution that I'm sure we might get, but yeah, that's not good for the 52. See if Mike can try to hang on to a top 5 spot and see if Bobby Grady has anything for these leaders. I know he's wanting to get some redemption after that early mistake. Six to go when we cross the line this time by. Good restart for Randy Cornwell and a good restart for Grady as well. Just nowhere to go.
Yeah, Bobby, he gave Meacham a shove. Like, let's go. We got places to be.
Yeah, Grady trying to make quick work of the 84 of Patrick Campbell, and we'll see if he's able to clear him here in 3 and 4.
Man, Randy is quick though.
Yeah, 84 gets out of the groove a little bit, has to chase the truck. Still not enough for Grady to get by just yet, and now he's under pressure with the 77 of Trey Young. And then clear him here in 1 and 2. We'll see if Grady has anything for him. I mean, the 84 of Patrick Campbell is kind of really making that kind of second to third groove work. But yeah, Randy Cornwell and David Meacham looks like they're running away with this one as of right now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Meacham has anything for Randy, to be honest with you. He was a lot closer before that caution came out, and now I don't know. And unless Randy messes up here or Meacham is holding back, which I doubt he'd be doing in the last few laps, but
yeah, I mean, 4 laps to go here. I don't think you can just hang on. I mean, it's time to go. I mean, you got to at least try to get to that bumper if you can, rattle the cage, something. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, he closed quite a gap right there, though. Holy crap, he dove that truck in.
Yeah, he did, and we'll see if that's going to compromise 6 exit any.
Hey, he's diving it in again. I might be wrong here. He's getting right up on him.
Yeah, he is getting an aggressive entry, but looking at the relative, I mean, he's net gain, I mean, a couple thousandths, but I don't know if that's going to be enough unless he gets to the bumper. I mean,
he might get there.
He might. I mean, that aggressive entry is going to compromise 6 exit just a little bit, but that 22 truck is getting a lot bigger out of the windshield of the 13, that is for sure. Yeah, Randy taking a little bit of a later arc where David's kind of diving it in early. We'll see.
Yeah.
2 to go, and David Meacham making a move, just about gets there, but
yep.
Yeah, that apron, though, that's going to hurt. We'll see if, I mean,
yeah, that might have cost him.
He's got 2 good little braking zones here. White flag out at Nashville, we'll see, but I don't know that he's going to close that gap. Everything that he just gained, he lost right there in that corner.
Yeah, Randy shut the door on him real quick. He's going to have to dive it in hard into 3 if he's going to do anything here.
Which he just might do. We've seen a little bit of an aggressive dive here from him a couple times, but I don't know that it's going to be enough here. But as I say that, a huge surge in the corner.
Yeah, and he got the apron. Oh! Yeah, a little too much. He got the apron just a touch too much, but good shot out of him, though.
Yeah, I mean, had to make something happen there, and Randy Cornwell takes the first place spot here at Nashville Super Speedway. We saw him up front all night, so definitely a driver that made his way towards the front and stayed there for the whole race pretty much. Congrats to Randy Cornwell, David Meacham, and Patrick Hamburn. See if we can get all 3 of these drivers in here for some post-race interviews. On board here with 22, see if he elects to burn it down. And there it is.
I mean, how could you not burn it down after a night like that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, a very strong performance out of him tonight. Again, we talked to him at the end of stage 1 there, and I mean, his name was mentioned throughout the whole rest of the night, so congrats to him. We can try to see if we can get Patrick on board here in the Discord, but for now, we do have our 2nd place finisher of David Meacham. We'll hop on board with him. And
your bumper, just a tiny bit, you know?
Yeah, just a tiny bit. We saw you dive in there just a tiny bit. Yeah, I mean, some late moves there on these last couple laps. I mean, we saw you really diving in deep into the corners here, trying to get him on entry. Just not enough to get there.
I didn't hit the wall at a 4. It was okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty big sin, but like you said, you kept it clean and was able to come away with the second place spot, man. We saw a lot of action here tonight. Not too many green flag laps, unfortunately, but we saw you kind of make your way towards the beginning of the race and kind of got shuffled in the back of the pack. And on that last huge restart where everybody came down to pit, it's what seemingly came out of nowhere and had a lot of speed, man. It was definitely some close racing between you and Randy there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I went a lap down early. I might have had a chat muted. I apologize. But we made it work, and just all respect to Randy. He's my nemesis this season.
Yeah, still early on in the season, so.
Me and Bryce know all about the nemesis situation, so.
Yeah, we definitely do. Well, man, before we let you on out of here, I mean, again, congratulations on the second place finishing position there. Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to shout out or thank?
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for putting on the race as always. Got to make sure you thank the wife. No rookie mistakes here. Thank you, Las Vegas Inferno. Let me put them on the truck, and my team, Shell Shockers.
There you have it, David Meacham, second place finisher here tonight at Nashville Super Speedway, and we've got now the number 22 of Randy Cornwell in the booth. We talked to him at the end of stage 1, and now we're talking to you at the checkered flag, man. How does it feel?
It feels pretty good. I'm glad it ended when it did. I didn't want any more laps.
Yeah, that was definitely a long race. A lot of caution laps. I think the pace car might have led the most laps tonight, but congratulations on the win, man. You dominated tonight.
Yeah, I think I got a tad lucky with all the cautions. And I definitely got lucky with whatever the one did on the initial start there. He was the class of the field, practice qualifying. He probably would have walked away with it, but things happen. I'm glad we didn't have too many more laps at the end either. The 13, he was coming strong. I knew he wanted the bottom, so I changed my line just a little bit to protect that bottom. If he could go outside and get it, hey, I was going to congratulate him.
Yeah, really close battle, and we saw him there on those last couple laps really diving it in deep into the corners there, trying to get underneath you, and you're able to shut the door on him, and he catches the apron a couple times, and you're able to come away with the win, man. You were up front all night, and, I mean, you really didn't have to do too much fighting with all the caution laps, but nonetheless, you made your way towards the front and stayed there, so congratulations on your first win of the season. I'm sure we'll see you up here again before the end of the season, if not once or twice more, a couple times. But before we let you on out of here, man, is there anybody you want to shout out or thank?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on a league for us to have some fun in. Thank KT and Team Misfits for helping me out and let me join their team, and just everything, all the admins and all the work and the effort that goes into putting these races on. Without y'all, we wouldn't have any way to spend our Sunday evening.
Absolutely. Well, man, thank you again for being here and racing with us. And that was your first place finisher there in Randy Cornwell, rounding out tonight's race. We had a lot of action, a lot of cautions, a couple green flag laps, but kind of cleaned up there towards the end. We were able to get some green flag laps there and a good battle there for the end. So at least we have that to look back on. And yeah, man, I mean, a lot of action here tonight. That is for sure.
Yeah, a little more than what I'd like to see. I mean, I don't mind seeing a caution flag here and there, just depending on the situation, makes it a little bit more interesting. But when you got like 12 to 15 of them, that's a bit much. Coming off the long vacation that we all had, hopefully everybody shook off some cobwebs tonight and we can get some cleaner racing, because I think these guys can put on one heck of a show, man, if we get some green flags in.
Yeah, I mean, we saw glimpses of greatness there at Vegas, and yeah, I mean, we'll chalk it up to a 2-week break, and hopefully, next week here we'll be able to get a little bit more green flag racing in. It is our first money IPO race of the season as well at Kansas, so we saw how Kansas boded for some of us in the Xfinity and in the truck series, or the A-Class truck, so we'll let these rookies have at it again. And looking at the race results here, of course, we talked to our top two, third place finisher of Patrick Cameron. We weren't able to get him in here, but congratulations to you. And Bobby Grady, after all that, is able to salvage a fourth place spot, so he still gets a top 5, barring all the calamity that he had to deal with, that early mistake there at the initial start there. That That was detrimental to his race, but nonetheless able to bounce back. And quite night out of the 77 of Trey Young. We saw him in the mix a couple times, but he's able to come away in the 5th place spot. And we saw a little bit out of strategy out of these next 2 finishers, and Dustin Bloodworth and Mike Kufel. They're able to make their way to the top 10 and stay there. So all in all, I mean, pretty good gain there for Mike. He maybe doesn't finish exactly where he likes, but still in the top 10. So after the night he had, I'm sure he'll take that as a win. And looks like Bryce Tucker, he finishes in the 8th place position, and he's up 19 spots from where he started, and really quick just to bounce back. Patrick Camburn looks like he's our biggest mover of the night, up 21 spots from where he started this race at. So
that's some positions right there, bud.
yeah, that's a lot of cars on the track to pass, and to do it and get a podium still as well. So that's incredible. And we got Brad Dorr and KT McCann rounding out your top 10. Not probably the finish KT would have liked to have run it up front all night, but nonetheless he does still get that top 10 done and taken care of. So that was Nashville and the rookies, man. A lot of chaos, and again, we got to end it out on a good race. So that's good to see. And the racing for the week is not over, man. We've got Xfinity Series at Richmond tomorrow. I did a little bit of practice there for our race, and yeah, it's going to be slick and it's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. We should have Matthew Chase and Sean Happick back on the call, and everything should be rocking and roll, ready to go. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, we got Richmond tomorrow and Friday. So Chuck's A and then Xfinity or whatever on Monday. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Richmond. I like Richmond. I never used to, but I figured it out, I think. Personally, I'm looking forward to these guys being at Kansas next week. You know how I feel about Kansas, and to be able to sit back and watch these guys race it and be able to really call it out. I'm looking for Sean to do something next week, because I gave him a lot of pointers and a couple of my secrets to that track. So if Sean doesn't put it in victory lane next week, we're gonna have a discussion.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I know that you and I are both pretty good fans of Kansas, and we've talked with Sean, and we're really hoping that we can get him in victory lane at some point this season. We'll see if he's able to make it happen. I'm sure he will, but we're rooting for him, and good luck to him, and good racing tonight from everybody. And thank you all for tuning in and joining in with us. We appreciate it, and we will see you guys tomorrow for some Xfinity racing at our first short track of the season. Wow, English is hard for me sometimes, but thank you all for tuning in and being a part. We will see you guys on